you guys should be able to see the PowerPoint presentation that I'm sharing. So this is a different format that I've been running in the than what I've been running in the past. In the past, it's been a live event where you guys just kind of watch, and if you guys have any questions, you guys just type it in the chat and stuff. I've heard from many people that they wanted to try this different format where we can verbally ask questions and stuff. It's more interactive for you guys. So we're going to try that today, see how that goes. So about 12:10, we're going to start the presentation. This way it gives you guys a little bit of time if you guys need to get something to eat real quick before we sit down and get going. That's why we started at 12:10. Then after it's over, after I get the presentation through and done, we are going to
shut everything down, right?
open the floor open for Q&A.
So,
and
mute. That's why you couldn't hear anything.
We are going to open the floor to Q&A. And at that point, if you guys have any questions, there should be a top portion there of emotions or emotes that you can do the raise hand function. So just raise your hand, then I can address you guys, and then you guys can then you can just speak into the mic, have your question read, or if you don't want to talk in the mic or have be on camera, that's fine. Don't have to do that. You just type your question in the meeting chat. That's so you can have it either way. But yeah, that's really it. This is just going to be something new. And then I'm going to link you guys something really quickly here. Well, I will send it to you guys in an email later. I haven't I got to get that done. I will be sending you guys a survey after, just to kind of give me feedback on how you guys felt this format went, how you guys feel like these webinars go. I will definitely like your feedback if possible, so that way we can improve on this stuff. It seems like a lot of you like these type of interactive webinars to kind of give you guys more information about your retirement and everything. That's my job. That's what I'm here for. I want to be able to provide as much information to you guys as possible and answer any questions that you have. So, wow, it is only 12:03. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is I'm just gonna get a glass of water, get everything really ready to go. And then we can start at 12:10. Let's see, hold on. Let me check the meeting chat. I know I posted something, but I haven't had it open. Okay. So can you guys hear me well? You guys can see me, you guys can hear me well, everything's good. Because I do have someone saying that it's a little harder to hear me. So if that is the case, then I definitely want to just make sure that if I have to fix some adjustments and stuff, because as you guys can see, I'm actually not in my office. I'm actually in my home. So let me see really quickly here. Okay, that's good. We are good. We are good. Okay. Okay. So if the volume's a little low, I would say if it might be on your end, you may need to adjust your volume settings on your computer or your laptop. Depending also too, if you're using headphones and stuff too, you may want to, usually sometimes when you plug in a headphone jack or something like that, it pops up in the little audio thing saying like, hey, we're going to plug this in, use this. Just make sure your volume's adjusted and stuff like that too. This is also being recorded. So as I mentioned in your guys' email that I sent you and in the calendar invite with all those rules and everything like that, not even rules, just like guidelines, that it is being recorded. So that way you guys have the option to kind of go back and look at this or watch this stuff later. That way, let's see here. That way, I'm sorry, guys. It's really hard to do all that stuff. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Sorry about that. It's like I'm monitoring you guys, trying to talk to you guys, but then also I have like a flood of emails and stuff, and it's like I can't look at everything at once. So it's like, okay. But yes, this thing is being recorded, so that way you guys can look that up and watch it later. So where can you watch this later? I will link you guys. So we actually have a YouTube channel that we use that I created. So it's going to be, I'm going to link it here in the chat for you guys. right there. So that's our link to our YouTube page. You guys can access that at any time. That just has a bunch of our other webinars on there as well. This one will be on here. It's going to be a little bit different format, but it'll be on here. So that way you guys can check back on stuff. So we put I put all the lunch and learns on there that we've done so far, like our mid-career webinar, stuff like that. It's always going to be constantly updated. You're probably going to see the same. You will probably see the same type of you probably see some of the similar content like mid-career and all that other stuff on there. That's okay because every webinar is different. Even though we talk about the same stuff, we actually do get a lot of different questions. So it is a very, very it's good. I'm running out of words already, and that's not good considering I'm supposed to be talking to you guys. Okay. Well, let's see. So I guess, because we got a couple more minutes before we start and we're just kind of like lingering on, and I'm just so you guys know, if you have any questions, like I mentioned, if for those that got here late, excuse me, for those that have gotten here late, we're going to run through the presentation, and then after the presentation, it's open floor Q&A. So just make sure if you have any questions, if you don't want to talk, you can use the chat function and I will read those questions out loud. Or you can, or if you want to ask a question, just use the raise your hand little thing so I know who did it and I can call on you. And then you can just unmute your mic and we can have conversation. But yeah, if you guys want to go ahead and do that after, that's perfectly fine. We're going to do this at 1 and cut it at 1. So my goal is to try and get this thing done, the presentation, go through it pretty thoroughly and through that. So that way it leaves time for you guys to ask questions because I'm pretty sure you will have questions. So, okay. Well, okay. So let's see here. We are pretty close to getting started here. Oh, that's quite all right. No problem at all. Like I mentioned, if people said that they could show up and they can't, that's okay. I know things happen, work happens. That's why we record this stuff and we put it on later so everybody can have a chance to watch it later and be like, okay, great, this is awesome, kind of thing. So, but this is a little bit of a different format that we're used to doing in the past. So we'll see how this goes. Okay. It's about 12:09, almost 12:10. I think I'm probably just going to get started because I would imagine most of the people that are going to be here are here already. So, well, let's get started. So thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. So today's Lunch and Learn webinar is about service credit purchases, or what we call buybacks. So a couple of the agendas a couple of things on the agenda that we're going to talk about today during this Lunch and Learn. We always talk about this in every webinar that I do. What is your defined benefit plan? Because we want to just reinforce that what your retirement is and how that works and applies to you. Then what is a service credit purchase? What can be purchased? Is it worth purchasing? And then how do you go about doing so? Okay, so your benefit from us is a defined benefit plan. What that means is this is a lifetime benefit to you based on specific factors. So when we look at calculating your lifetime monthly benefit, we look at a couple of different things. We look at what tier level and membership classification that you're in, whether you're general or safety. Once that's been determined, we look at these other 3 factors that you guys see on the screen. So we look at your age of retirement, your years of service, or what we call service credit, or salary, or what we call final average compensation. So we take these 3 factors here and we calculate your monthly lifetime benefit, and that's how we determine what you will get from us every month for the rest of your life. Now, depending on the option that you select when you retire, you'll get something for the rest of your life, and then depending on your beneficiary will get a percentage of what you're getting every month for the rest of their lifetime. But that all depends on the option that you select. And then members must be vested to receive a benefit. So most importantly, I would imagine a lot of you that are in this webinar are probably vested, but you do need to be vested in the plan to get some type of lifetime benefit from FCERA. To be vested in the plan, you need to have 5 years of service. So that's really the first focal point, is getting that 5 years. Okay, so now that we got that out of the way, now we're going to talk about the actual meat and potatoes of this presentation. So what is a service credit purchase? So service credit purchase is, service credit can be increased if you purchase eligible time that you have, that may be available to you to buy. This will increase your years of service, which, as I'll go back to the previous slide, is one of your factors that that determines what we calculate your benefit at. So by purchasing service credit that's eligible, you would increase your service credit toward, and this can also count toward vesting. So if you have 4 years and some change, and you buy, and you have eligible time that could be purchased, that would put you over the 5 years. If you buy that time, then you become vested. Service credit purchase is also known as a buyback. So you might be hearing coworkers in your office saying, use that term. It's the same thing. Buyback and service credit purchase are the exact same thing. Eligible time, that is what we consider eligible time, as in that first bubble right there, or that first bullet point, is time that you worked for a FCERA plan sponsor where you're not able to make retirement contributions. So like, for example, if you took a leave of absence or something like that, and you were not making retirement contributions, that time may be eligible for you to purchase to add back to your retirement as if you were working during that period. Now, by purchasing eligible service credit, goes without saying, because that is one of the 3 factors that we use to calculate your benefit, your monthly benefit will increase for your retirement. So service credit that can be purchased. So as you guys can see on the screen here, these are all the different potential available service credits that a member can purchase throughout their career as a FCERA member. So the first bullet point, new hire period. Everybody has this available. So what this new hire period is, this is your first pay period of permanent employment. Now, when members are hired, or when you're hired with your plan sponsor, so a majority of you in this webinar today are county employees, like myself. When we're hired on as county employees, we don't become a member of FCERA where we're contributing to our retirement until the first day of the second pay period. So because you don't become a member until the first day of the second pay period, we do allow you to purchase that first pay period to add back to your retirement. So everybody has that available to them if they wish to purchase that. If you were part-time or extra help prior to becoming permanent, that would be available for you to purchase. Redeposit of withdrawn funds is an interesting one. So what this really means is, if you, let's say, I use the county because the county is our biggest plan sponsor. So if you worked for the county previously and you left, when you left your employment, you contacted us and you withdrew your retirement contributions from us. Then let's say a couple years down the road, you got rehired back at the county and you became a FCERA member again. So by doing so, you may be able to then purchase that time that you withdrew to add back into your retirement as if you never left, and you regain that years of service. I've seen that on a few instances, but it doesn't. I shouldn't say it doesn't happen a lot, but it does occur. But I've only seen it in a couple instances. The next one is prior public service. Unfortunately for county employees, this is not available. This is only available for California Superior Courts and special districts that are under our plan. Prior public service would be like members used to be able to purchase like their military time, for example, prior to becoming an employee. Or like if they worked for another public agency, they used to be able to purchase up to purchase that time. And you used to be able to purchase up to 4 years of prior public service. But as of 2012, county employees are no longer able to do so. So it's only available for California Superior Courts and special districts. Now, the next one here is leave of absence. This is probably the most common one that you see that people purchase as far as their service credit, which is the first one would be a medical leave. This is just an FMLA due to an illness to the member. So that is one instance where we do see a lot of people purchase time is a medical leave. If you took a military leave while on active employment, you can purchase that time as well. Now, something to note here is that last bullet point there of personal or educational leaves. So there have been questions in the past, and I've heard some members come in when I used to be a retirement specialist and counsel people that they ask, "Hey, I took a personal leave. Why can't I buy that back?" It's the law. The retirement law does not allow you to purchase personal or educational leaves. So those are not available to purchase, unfortunately. So right here, though, those are all the listings that you of eligible time that can be purchased by a member if you're eligible for that. If you had one of those instances occur, that first bullet point, everybody has that option because everybody gets hired and becomes a member. So some other information to know, and I apologize in advance, guys. This PowerPoint presentation is kind of on the shorter end compared to other webinars that you may have attended to for Lunch and Learns, because this is only about this specific topic. But anyways, other information you need to know. So some service credit may not be available to every member. So in some cases, service credits must be purchased first before being eligible to purchase others. So what this first bullet point means is for one, just because your coworker bought a medical leave doesn't or bought some time back doesn't mean that you're eligible to buy time back as well. Everybody has that first pay period that they can purchase back, but there's a lot of employees that don't have any other time that they can buy back. They didn't work extra help, they didn't take a medical leave or a military leave, something like that. So they wouldn't be able to purchase that time. So not everybody has all these eligible times available to them to purchase. And then in some cases, some credit must be purchased before being eligible to purchase others, meaning like prior service. You need to, so if you were trying to buy extra help time before prior to becoming permanent, you do need to purchase your new hire period in order to purchase that extra help and all that other stuff. This is stuff that can be brought to your attention by our retirement specialists and our benefit support staff when they send out these information to you, the buyback contracts and everything. Other information you need to know. So if you integrated during an LOA, there will be no service credit to purchase. So this is huge. So whenever you take a leave of absence, like for medical or something like that, and you're like, well, I took a leave of absence during this time. If you were receiving a check from the county or your plan sponsor and you have retirement deductions being taken out of that check, you do not have that period of time that you were not actually at work available to purchase. So an LOA is a perfect example. So if you integrated, there will be no service credit to purchase. Something else to know too is leaving county service. So this actually happens a lot with some members. So if you're not vested in the plan with 5 years of service and you leave county service, or even plan sponsor service, I should say, doesn't have to say county service, and you don't request reciprocity and 6 months have elapsed since you've left, any request that you send into buyback time will be rejected because more than likely they will not be beneficial to you to purchase. So that's something to consider as well. We have gotten that in the past where we have someone that has left county service that let's say worked 3 years. They left the money in the plan, but then left and went to a private sector position, but they still requested to buy their new hire period. We sent that back to them and said, hey, we're not going to calculate this for you because it's of no benefit to you. Because even if you purchase that time, you're not going to be vested in the plan to get some type of lifetime benefit. So all you would still be available to you is just the contributions that are in the plan. So it wouldn't be a benefit to you to spend the time to buy that time and all that other stuff. Okay, so the next thing here, is it worth purchasing service credit? So service credit purchases are always optional. Whenever you request to have service credit calculated and we send you a contract, it's always optional. You do not have to buy it if you don't want to. One of the things that we get asked a lot is like, hey, well, what does it mean if I buy this time? Like what's it going to affect my retirement? Well, one way that you can do that yourself is utilize the member portal. And I'm actually on the next couple slides, I'm going to show you how to do so. We recommend if you have any, especially myself, if you have any questions, contact our office, speak to a specialist. They'll definitely be able to walk you through this a little bit more and talk to you about this stuff. But buybacks are optional. So that's just a lot of people assume when they send that request in, that's like, oh gosh, I actually don't know how much is this going to cost. Do I really have to buy it? You don't have to buy it. It is optional. But you also want to look at the cost versus benefit increase analysis to see if it's worth your time. So on the next couple of slides, I've taken a screenshot of our member portal, and I'm actually going to show you guys how you can do this in the member portal to kind of give you an idea of how much your benefit would increase if you were to buy available time. So right here on the screen, you guys have your service credit, the member portal. Under the calculations tab there on the left, it gives you a drop-down menu for retirement benefit and service purchase. You're going to want to click on that service purchase there. Now, if you have time that's available to you, it should be displayed right there on the screen. So for example, this member has their new hire period from those periods right there that's available to purchase. So it shows the amount of service that can be purchased, plus how much it would cost you if you were to buy that time. Okay. So how would you go about seeing what the cost benefit analysis is? Like, how much would your benefit really increase if you were to buy that time? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to go to under the calculations tab, you need to go to the retirement benefit option. So now you're going to see that screen right there that says retirement benefit option, and then you need to select a calculation type. So just because you want to see what the estimate is going to be for an increase, you could do earliest retirement date, or if you are retiring very soon and you know you have a picked out retirement date, select that retirement date. There's a drop down, that menu drops down, and you're allowed to pick a specific date as well. So after you click on that, it will generate a calculation for you. This will generate a calculation for you right here, showing you your, and I'm not showing the whole screen. This is just a screenshot, but this is showing your unmodified option right there and your amount. Now, this is just before having any service credit added. To add that service credit, you see that orange box right there at the top next to that purple arrow that I have right there. You're going to click the edit calculation box or information box. That's going to open a screen that looks like this on the left. It's going to have a recalculate estimate, select calculation type. But if you scroll to the bottom there, it'll say add service. So that's where you're going to take the service that you had on the previous screen. And I'm going to go back here. So on the previous service purchase screen of 0.0384, that's where you are going to drop that down right here. I think you guys could probably see my mouse cursor right here, where the arrow box is. That's where you're going to drop down that number that you saw from the previous screen. Once you put that number in, that's when you can hit the orange box right there that says recalculate estimate. Once you hit that box, the portal will calculate your benefit with that increase. So you can see the difference of buying that time. And then you can calculate, all right, how many months are you going to need to break even to where you're going to start seeing that benefit increase of whatever that amount would be. So that's a really easy, quick way to look in the member portal to see the difference and see how much it would increase your benefit if you were to purchase that time. So I recommend everybody utilize that if you're interested in potentially purchasing your time, because that's going to, help you out a lot, because a lot of people, that's a question that we get asked all the time. So this is an easy, real user-friendly way of doing so. Okay, so how would you go about purchasing service credit if you want to? Well, the first thing is you got to complete the request for service credit calculation form. I have that here on the screen on the PowerPoint slide. The form looks like that. You can go to our website at Fresno County FresnoCountyRetirement.org, and then under the forms tab, you should see the request for service credit calculation form. So once that calculation form request form has been complete and you send it to our office, our benefit support staff will calculate all available time that you have. Then we will mail you a letter with a quote. Like I mentioned before, this is not an obligation to purchase. So if you do request it, but you don't want to purchase it, you don't have to. It's completely okay. That contract will tell you all the available time that is available to purchase, your cost, your due dates, and your payment options. Depending on the cost and the amount of time that you're buying, you may be able to make payments. So for example, the contract may state that, okay, you can pay $50 per pay period for 18 pay periods or whatever that may be. it's all going to be broken down to you on the contract. Everything's a little different. Different depending on the leave and all that stuff that you're buying. You can also pay your buyback with your deferred compensation plan with Nationwide, for example. You can do so. So a lot of people don't know that either, but you can buy back your time with your deferred comp. Another great reason to enroll into deferred comp and start contributing if you don't already. Okay, so like I mentioned, that presentation is a little shorter than all the other stuff because this is service credit is kind of like black and white kind of a thing. Like this is how it is. This is what it is. So on this screen here, I think you guys already have all a copy of the PowerPoint deck, but this is just our contact information. Contact our office for any questions. If you guys are looking to retire and you have a date picked out, you can call us 90 days prior to that retirement date and we will schedule you an appointment. The retirement specialist that's assigned to you will schedule you an appointment within 60 days of that retirement date that you have chosen. Unfortunately, right now, the retirement specialists are a little short-staffed and they are only meeting with members currently that are signing their application for retirement. I recommend if you're just curious of what your retirement looks like as far as dollar amount is, utilize the member portal. The member portal is truthfully one of your best planning tools that you have. I can't stress that enough. Later, hopefully, I will be able to do a webinar based off of just utilizing a full live tutorial of the portal. We're working out some kinks. But eventually, hopefully next year, I will be able to offer that to you guys because I know that's another thing too. A lot of people are still kind of having a little different things about utilizing the member portal. So then our office is open from 9 to 12, 1 to 5. If you have any questions, call us or just send us an email at FCERA@FresnoCountyCA.gov. I check the email box all the time, so you can send an email there. You can always contact me and I can forward that information to our benefits team as well. Okay, so with that being said, that's really it for me. Now I'm going to I finished 10 minutes before. All right, I'm proud of myself. 12 minutes, pat on the back. So for now, I guess this is just going to be the Q&A and we're going to open it up to Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, there's two ways you can do so. You can use the raise hand function and then I'll call on you. You can unmute yourself and then ask that question. Or if you don't feel comfortable talking, just feel free to throw the question in the chat box and I will answer that question, or I will attempt to. Hold on one sec, guys. I'm trying to fix this really quick. Okay, so the first question I have is from Maribel. So go ahead. You can ask the question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I checked the retirement website. I was extra help from 2010 to 2012.
Okay.
And my estimate for buying that time back used to appear on there. And I noticed the past few months, it's no longer there. That's question number one. Question number two is I actually filled out that paperwork to request an actual estimate for how much it would cost to buy back my time. And I have not received anything. And I want to say it's been 6 to 8 months. So I didn't even get like an acknowledgement letter or anything saying that was received. So I have two questions. So thank you.
Okay. Let's start with the first one. So the first one, that's odd that it's not in the portal anymore. And the second one about I'll definitely have to check on that because we pull that information from our member portal. So yeah, that's really, really odd that it's not appearing. Now, as far as the second one, as far as getting a request, what you can do, because I can't really answer that question now without looking at it and stuff, just send an email to FCERA@FresnoCountyCA.gov and we'll look into it. I'll check on that for you. Because I can't do it right now, but yeah, just for that, I will look into that for you. Okay. But thank you for the question. Okay, so let's see. So, all right. So the chat here. So just to confirm, buyback of military time is not an option as of 2012 if you've been a Fresno County employee since 2007. So there is a distinction there. So if the military time is prior public service where you did not where you were not on active military leave while you were a county employee, then that is no longer purchasable because that is prior public service. I can verify that with the benefit support staff, but I'm 99% positive that is no longer an option because it is prior public service. The county stopped allowing that as of 2012. Let's see. Can you pick and choose what periods you want to purchase? So that depends. That depends on the type of time that you're buying back. That really just depends on the. That really just depends on the. If you're buying a medical leave, yes, I believe you could pick and choose. But if you're buying, like, let's say, if you're buying extra help, your new if you have available like your extra help, your new hire period, and another time, and you only want to buy your extra help period, you can't just buy that period. You have to buy your new hire period in order to purchase that time. So that is it. It depends on the situation. So like I mentioned with buybacks, like everybody's situation is going to be a little different, especially like the payment options and stuff. So in that instance, it's going to be a little different. So for examples for extra help and medical leaves. So you could pick and choose your medical leaves, but as far as the extra help, you have to ensure that you buy the new hire period along with that in order to buy the extra help time because that's considered prior service. There is a document that kind of lays this out for you guys. And if I can get a scanned copy of it, because I know I have one on my desk, I can scan that and I can email that to you guys as well. It kind of gives you those examples that you're talking about, Kathy. So I'll get when I get back to my desk, I'm going to the office tomorrow. I will see if I can find it, scan it, and I can send it to everybody in the meeting. So you guys have that for reference. But thank you. It's a good question. Can you only buy back part-time employment? Like, can you only buy back part-time employment time prior to perm, or can you purchase mid-career perm part-time job share time? So I'm very confused about what you mean by job share time. Are you talking about like while you're permanent, you went from permanent to extra help, then back to permanent? Because if that's the case, I believe that's not allowed to be purchased. If that's the case and that's the question that you're asking, I will have to check back with you on that because I do not want to give you the wrong answer to that because that's actually a unique question I've never been asked before. That's definitely a question I've never been asked before. So I'll have to look back into you on that. Send me an email and then that way I know what I'm looking for and I can confirm that for you. So just go ahead and send me an email and I can get that confirmed for you. But I apologize, I don't have the answer for you right now because I've never been asked that question before, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, but great question so far. So if you guys, floor is open. If you guys have any questions, please ask away. It does. Okay, so I'll do this too. A couple things. So if you do have any questions, or if you don't have any questions and you don't want to stick around, you can leave. That's okay. But I will also open the floor to some questions that are not necessarily buyback related as well. If you have any other retirement questions, I'm just going to let you guys know now. If I can't answer for you at this moment, I'm going to just tell you right now, send me an email. That way I can check back with you on that. But there might be some questions you guys asked me today that I can't fully answer. How long are service credit purchases estimates taking now? I did one a couple years ago and it only took a couple years, and it took a couple years. Well, so I will tell you right now that our buyback process has gotten a lot faster than it used to be in years past. When I started at FCERA 6 years ago, the buyback process was really long. People were waiting years for. We got it down to pretty good, a few months. We have some. We are experiencing some employee retention with staff shortages in our benefit services unit. We did have a couple people retire, and another technician left their position. So we are working with a limited staff, but we're trying to push those out as fast as we can. It also depends. It also really depends too. It also really depends too on the type of service that you are looking to purchase. Because if for example, and I don't know what type of service is available for you to purchase, but if you're requesting a redeposit or extra help from, let's say you worked extra help back in like 90 or 93, for example, I'm not saying that's you, but I'm just using that as an example. It may take us a little bit more time because we got to pull those records out of archives and stuff, and we got to do research on that stuff. So it may, some service credits may take a little bit longer than others. But we've definitely turned it around compared to years past. We have a great staff, a great supervisor that's in charge of it. She's been really hitting the ground running since she took over the position a few years ago, and she's really completely rehauled that process. So we are definitely moving along. Will you be having other retirement webinars that cover other topics? Absolutely. That's a fantastic question. So I literally am currently writing my schedule for the next set of webinars for the next year, for example. So currently that's what we have planned. That's on the docket. None of this stuff is confirmed. I plan to have 2 mid-career webinars for members that are at least 5 years of service, but probably won't be retiring for another 10 or so or more. Those mid-career webinars are going to take place in March and September. We are going to bring back our pre-retirement webinars that usually took place in person in January and July. We were going to bring them back in January, but it looks like we may hold off a little bit longer and do this one virtually. We don't have a date set in stone yet. I'm trying to work on getting speakers for that. Our pre-retirement webinar or seminars usually had speakers from like Social Security, Nationwide for the deferred comp, county HR about health insurance and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get all that stuff incorporated first. You guys will always know because I send all county emails out and emails to the plan sponsors and let you guys know when they're happening. My goal is by the end of the year to try and have a set schedule where maybe I can release dates for the next upcoming like 6 months or so. So that's what I'm looking for to see how that works out. But we will see on that. But as far as like these lunch and learn ones, I will guarantee you will see at least 6 to 8 next year at least. Some of the webinars are going to be rotating topics each year because we have new employees or people just maybe couldn't make the first one. So like benefit options is always one that I'm going to do at least once or twice a year so people know. We're service credit purchase. I did one on the temporary annuity option. I did one on death benefits. And reciprocity was another one I did. So we're really going to have all these different ones available. And then I'm working on other ones that I have not done yet, but it's going to take me a little bit more time to do. But we're hoping that, I have all this. My goal is to have all this information out to you guys regularly. So you are all well versed on all that stuff. So you guys have any questions, you guys are ready for that day. Let's see. Does it cost more to purchase buyback the longer you wait or the older you are? That's a fantastic question. So
no,
it does
not
cost
the one
more.
I wanted.
It does
This
cost
is not
more.
The one I wanted. What is the other? Well, not that one.
It does cost more to purchase a buyback the longer you wait because of the interest crediting periods that we have for twice a year of June 30th and December 31st. So my recommendation to all of you is if you have available time to purchase, send in that request ASAP and get that calculated to at least see if it's something worth that you want to purchase. That way, if you like it or not, you can purchase it. The longer you wait, it will cost you more money. I will tell you that. So I really like having virtual access to the webinar. Well, thank you. Yeah, this is a little different format than the last ones that we've done with Microsoft Team Live event, where you guys can only see me in the presentation and you guys have to type in a question. This is at least a little bit more interactive. You guys can ask questions or you can I can see faces and stuff like that. Um, Microsoft Teams is supposed to release a webinar function. So if the webinar function works good, I might go with that for now. But these lunch and learns like this, I might be going with this format for a while just to see. But no, thank you. I really appreciate that. Let's see. So if there's any other questions. Let's see here. Okay. I see I have a hand raised. Give me one sec. Okay, let's see. Kathy, the floor is yours. Go ahead.
Okay, I didn't hear the first part because my computer just said I have bad network quality, but it does cost more the longer you wait to purchase the buyback.
Yes, because there is a interest that's being added on twice. So we all earn interest on our contributions that we make twice a year on June 30th and December 31st. So the longer you wait to purchase that time, so let's say that let's just say that you had a medical leave January of 2019, okay? And you wanted to purchase that time. So when we calculate that time, we calculate how much it would have cost you to purchase that medical leave for that time, but also we have to add the interest for those periods from 2019 going forward to that time that's available to buy. So it would be a little bit more the longer that you wait because of that interest. Does that kind of make sense?
Because I was extra help in 2010. It'd be a lot of interest now then.
But yeah, it could be. But but if you know roughly what the cost would be and you're interested in purchasing that, it would be to your benefit to purchase it sooner rather than later.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Let's see. Is there a specific contact at HR that we should be directing questions to? It depends on what kind of questions that you're asking, Stephanie. It depends on what questions that you're asking. So if you're asking questions about, let's say, so for example, if you're asking questions about health insurance or annual leave time, for example, like what happens to annual leave when you leave when you retire, just call employee benefits at 600-1810. They'll be able to help you with that. I'm assuming those are the type of questions that you're looking at to potentially to ask. Perfect. Okay. All right. Let's see here. You guys have any other questions? Like I mentioned too, a couple things as I mentioned earlier. If you guys have any don't have any other questions and you don't want to stick around, you're free to go enjoy the rest of your lunch. But if you guys have any other questions, feel free. It doesn't have to be buyback related. It does not have to be buyback related. So if you have any other retirement questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you if I can. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to let you guys know of. Let's see here. You're very welcome. Thank you. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that you guys may need to know about this stuff. I think the buyback portion, like I mentioned, this presentation is kind of on the shorter end because a lot of the stuff is just very in line. It's like very set in stone kind of a thing. Let's see. I would say though, so one of the things, because we're toward the end of the year and this is the time where people start thinking about retiring, and especially that first quarter from like January to March. If you're considering retiring between that time, I would contact our office immediately when you have a date picked out to set an appointment, because our office is starting to get into the busy season. So we're we are probably going to be our specialists are probably going to be very, very busy. So if you are looking to retire and you have your date pick out, just let us know so that way we can schedule the appointment for you and stuff. Because I know a lot of people are looking to retire because of the COLA and stuff, depending what the COLA is going to be in February and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind, or you can let your coworkers know as well. Awesome. Thank you guys for the thank you for the nice comments. I appreciate that. I really hope that you guys find this stuff informational, and because I don't know how I don't know, I can't speak for everybody that's in this webinar meeting, but if you guys have been county employees for a while, you probably know that FCERA hasn't really done anything like this before, where we haven't really put out all this type of information out there. I'm trying to change that more and more each day. I love what I do, and my job is to make sure that to communicate with you all. I'm the communications analyst, but to communicate with you all and give you that information out there so you guys can make the best decisions going forward for your retirement. So I will be continuing to create content and stuff for you all so you guys can understand really everything about your retirement, because it's a lot of information to cover and stuff. So we want to just make sure that you all are we just want to make sure you all are have all the information in front of you, I should say. I was trying to think of a better word, great. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. Anybody else have any other questions or anything? We still got a little bit of time, so if you have any questions, please. That's what I'm here for. So. But I really appreciate all the kind words and everything. Hopefully, if you guys really like this type of format, if you guys attended our webinars prior and you guys like this format, I'm definitely probably going to keep it for the next one I do. I'm definitely going to keep this format for the next one just to see how everything goes. So we will see. Probably the next one I'm thinking, outside the pre-retirement seminar, the next lunch one that I'm thinking of hosting, I'm going to say I don't think there's going to be one next month because of availability issues. I would say the next one you'll probably see is in February of next year. Can our spouse dip into our retirement? What do you mean by dip into your retirement? Have actually receive a part of your retirement? Contribute into it? What do you mean by that? Oh, receive part of your retirement. Okay. So they can, depending on the option that you select at retirement. So depending on the option that you select at retirement, you, in the case of your death, your spouse may receive a percentage of your benefit every month for the rest of their lifetime. So what I'm going to do here is, give me a second. I'm going to link you a benefit options sheet that's on our website. Here. There's a benefit options form there on our website that gives you a little summary of each of the options and what the potential beneficiary can receive in the case of your death for those options. Well, thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Well, that's the whole point. I mean, that's why a lot of these webinars we're going to be, it's going to be cycling or rotating similar topics or the same topic, because people weren't able to get into it, or maybe they didn't watch the replay, or maybe some people attend the same webinar each time, even though it's the same information that I give to you all, but they want to see what type of questions people ask. Because each webinar I've done, the questions are always different. You always have that same list of questions that are the same, but we do get questions that are different. So, that's why a huge benefit of attending the webinars are for that. So let's see here. Make sure I have that open. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Got a couple more minutes. See if you guys have any other questions. I hope everybody has a good, safe holiday coming up. Cannot believe it's already Thanksgiving, and we're almost at the end of the year. Pretty crazy. Pretty nuts. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And then let's see. Yeah, I'm looking through some information, trying to see if there's stuff that I can find for you guys, but let you guys know about other stuff here. But I would just say too, if you have any other questions, and I know I went back to the front, I should just go back to the contact page there. But if you guys have any other questions, anytime, feel free to just call our office, send us an email, and we will get that answer for you. We'll get back to you. If you send me an email, that works too. I will probably forward your email, or if I can answer the question, I'll answer it. But usually, depending if it's really specific to your account about like your retirement benefits or something like that, like numbers wise, I will forward that to the retirement specialist, and somebody will assist you with that. All right. Well, I'll give it one more minute. If we don't have any other questions, I think we're just going to call it a day here. So, I do appreciate it. Once again, I do appreciate you guys all taking your lunch today to kind of go sit here and go over this stuff and listen to it. I appreciate it. I know it's not easy to learn about retirement and all that stuff. So, but you guys are all taking the time out to learn more information and everything like that. That's really good. So hopefully it helps. Hopefully it really does help. And like I mentioned, if you guys ever have questions in the future, just reach out to us, our office. That's what we're here for. We will help you in any way that we can. So let's see. Not seeing any other questions. I think I'm just going to call that the end of the webinar. So let's see. Thank you for your patience and willingness. Oh, Ruth, thank you for your kind words. I used to be a retirement specialist. I was a retirement specialist for 3.5 years, so I understand, and I love helping the membership. So being in this new role now, like I get to, I'm not sitting there with you counseling you anymore, but I'm able to provide more information on a grander scale, and I want to be able to push that stuff out to you guys so you guys can make the best decisions for you and all that stuff. So, we want to make sure that everyone that walks in the door ready to retire understands what they're doing throughout the process. So yes, that's I'm always willing to help, and I'm always always willing to help the membership. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out. All right, but other than that, thank you guys. Thank you all for attending to this afternoon, and you guys will probably see another email from me very soon in the next month or two about upcoming webinars. So just be on the lookout for that. All right. Have a good rest of the day and a great and safe Thanksgiving. Bye, everyone.